It's totally normal. I think it's heightened among more successful people. There's definitely some kind of inverse correlation between, how good we are at something and how good we think we are. Folks who are highly competent don't tend to see themselves as highly competent. Folks who aren't very good at something, tend to see themselves as more
Yeah.
competent than they actually are. I think the key to me has been, I think for many years, I didn't see it as imposter syndrome. I just thought I was not very good at what I did. I thought I was a terrible manager. As Ring grew, I got moved into a position where I was managing people and then eventually managing teams. Never had any formal training, no idea what I'm doing, and feeling like I'm awful at this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm failing. People are looking at me like I have no idea what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Were
And
you
it,
awful at it, or was that just more of like a self-criticism back?
what's that?
Were you awful at it at the beginning, or do you need more of like self-criticism?
I got consistent, extremely consistent positive feedback.
Oh, okay, well then you weren't awful at it.
There was a study done at, I think it was Stanford, and they came up with this thing called Kruger Dunning syndrome. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's super interesting. I think you'll find it fascinating. But one of the things they discovered is that, I think it's the idea was that competent people tend to view themselves as less competent than they are, like I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But what they attributed that to is that competent people are able to see their shortcomings. You and I, you're able to see where your skills end, and you're able to see where you still have room for growth. The downside of that is successful, competent people tend to turn that around. Our focus is on, what we're not seeing and what we don't know and where we lack skill. And it's easy to then, as a result, feel, that's infinite. That goes on forever. There's no
Mm-hmm.
end to how much we can learn compared to how much we know. So the folly of that is it can reaffirm that I know a
Jack
tiny
shit.
amount. Yeah, I know jack shit, right? The truth is, a lot. We're not comparing ourselves to people who don't know a lot. We're just seeing
Yeah.
what we don't know. And it reaffirms that we don't know shit. And that's the thing that keeps us growing and improving and getting better and becoming more competent. Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a
Uh-huh.
double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That
true.
was that was life-changing for me, was learning that. And for me,
Mm.
that was a big piece of learning to actually feel a little bit more competent.